Hi, I'm Jimmy Gownley, the author and artist of the Amelia Rules series of graphic novels. Amelia Rules is the life story of Amelia McBride as she goes from being a 9-year-old living in Manhattan to having to find a whole new life for herself in small-town Pennsylvania. My first experience with comics was my mom was very big on having me become literate at a very early age. So when I was about 3 years old, she did two things for me. One was she would read me Charles Schulz Peanuts comic strips, which I loved and love to this day. And the other thing she would do was make homemade flashcards, which was funny because she didn't know how to draw, but she would draw a picture of a boy and write the word boy under it, car, write car under it, you know, house, write house under it. And one day she found me, and I was taping her homemade flashcards to the door in our apartment, and it would be like the boy got in his car, went to his house. So at 3, I had made my first comic strip with my mom's flashcards. So whenever anyone asks me how I got into comics, I always say, I blame my mother. The reason I work in comics is because I'm a cartoonist. And, you know, it's a weird thing to do, but it's sort of, my talents lie in being a pretty good writer and being a pretty good artist. And you put those things together and you can become a very good cartoonist. It's just where my interests always were, and it's where the strange intersection of my talents, where they meet. Amelia came to me, what happened was I was working on a comic book series called Shades of Grey, which I had been doing for a number of years. It was this little self-published black and white alternative comic. And I was sort of coming to the end of that, or at least the end of my interest in sort of writing that type of material. What I did was I just took the page I was working on, I flipped it over, and drew this little girl character. Not having any idea who she was, or not having any idea what I would do with her, but she looked kind of cute. And I held up the picture to my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. I said, "What do you think of her?" And she said, "Oh, she's cute." I said, "Well, maybe I should do something with her. You know, what should we call her?" And we both said at the exact same time, Amelia. And I thought that was a good sign. So I just started developing her from there. And it's just been really rewarding because, you know, comic books have traditionally been kids' favorite medium. It's the one reading medium they will always go out and, you know, pay their own money for, but it always was seen as sort of a second-best medium, which I never believed was true. So it's really great to be able to do this sort of thing with Kids Love Comics and find out that, yeah, not only do they love them and not only is it fun, but they're actually a really valuable tool for kids.